welcome back to Relentless Talk Radio. This is episode 78. This is segment 2, the health and fitness segment, and I'm here with Jorge Aragon, and he is the owner of AZ Fat Loss and Wellness Center in Mesa, right?
We have 2 locations, Gilbert and Scottsdale.
See, totally wrong. Gilbert and Scottsdale. Real time figuring that out. I knew that one was not here and one was somewhere else. So there you go. So tell everybody who you are and what you do.
Okay, so my name is Jorge Aragon. A quick little background on me is just grew up my whole life playing sports. Started a college career that I was very disillusioned in, and ended up moving into just my personal passion, health and fitness. Spent a lot of time training with military, high performance athletes, and I even got to coach at ASU for a little while. After college, I ended up starting my own business in health and fitness, creating my own fitness studio and helping my mom's patients. She's a doctor, internal medicine specialist, a lot of older population, a lot of very sick, overweight, chronically ill people. And so that was a huge, huge shift in what I knew and how I was going to apply it. And the coolest thing happened when I was at the end of my competitive CrossFit career. I was at this big competition in Utah and went to a recovery center to try the cryotherapy. Mom came with me.
Love cryotherapy.
Yeah, it's good, but what you don't know is there's not a whole lot of proven research on it. And what we learned about that same visit was the red light therapy. And just long story short, my mom went through her own recovery process from pain. I used it just quickly getting my mind, my body prepped after a long period with no health or fitness focus. And we've now seen many, many people get the benefits of lower pain and inflammation, something that may have lasted for a decade or more, better cognitive memory, emotional pattern recognition, and reaction time. And of course, fat loss, just losing inches rather than weight on the scale, making your body shape change rather than just a little number that you don't understand is everything about you, but not just body fat. Anyway, I don't want to go into too much of all that detail, but if I could summarize what we do now is we provide people access to this most advanced wellness technology. We teach ancient natural nutrition secrets, and we have a special focus on the mind. So that's what we do. And
this makes me so happy to listen to you because you and I met. You once worked for mutual friends of ours, the Kayams, when they owned SickFit back in Scottsdale. The Kayams are actually one of the first people that I met. They were one of my first business consulting clients, and so I met you when you were in the CrossFit world as a trainer. Kind of through the BNI world, right? And I remember talking with you in relation to the business that we were doing at the time with SickFit, and just thinking what a remarkable young man you are. And to hear you talking about how you've moved into this mind space, kind of independently and all on your own with the cooperation of your mom's background. I didn't know your mom was a doctor, so that was pretty cool at the time. I do now. So I think it's cool that you've taken kind of CrossFit's kind of a macho, for lack of a better word, this hyper energy practice that for some people is more about. I'm trying to be careful with CrossFit because for people who practice CrossFit correctly and healthfully, it's a really awesome practice. But there are some folks who push too hard and they get hurt.
If I could give you an example of what you're saying in my own experience, I went from a point of I was a competitive track athlete, right? My miles were under 5 minutes. My half mile was around 2 minutes, and I loved high performance. I loved effort, and I would just go to the gym to beat myself up because there was nothing else to do.
Right.
And
when you're young, you can do that and get away with it for a little bit of time. Yeah.
I started competing when I was 18, and I stopped when I turned 24. It was between 23, 24. And there was a point I went 1 week without doing a single workout. Okay. Most people, that's a lot of people, like that's their everyday life, right?
Right.
For years.
Right.
And I had been spending 4, 6, 7, 8 hours a day training. And I didn't work out at all for a week. Came back and did Murph for the first time in my life, got rhabdo. And it was all in my arms, couldn't bend.
So
And
describe what that is for the folks who don't know what that means.
rhabdomyolysis is an extreme muscle breakdown. It gets into the bloodstream and messes up the kidney and can be fatal if not addressed.
Wow. So I mean, like CrossFitters can be extreme, is really in the nutshell, right? And I came from a extreme gymnastics background. I recently interviewed one of my fellow teammates. She's become a sports psychologist, and it was interesting after many years to chat with her to see the similarities in our personality. You know, that relentlessness that you see in my life comes from being a gymnast. And I think it comes from CrossFit taught you a lot about resilience and relentlessness. But there's also, as we get older, we have to learn balance. And usually, a good old fashioned crazy injury like a ruptured Achilles tendon, or what you describe is what kind of brings us to our knees, literally. And we have to take a look at, hey, is how I'm training really makes sense, So why, I kind of can imagine why you're doing what you're doing, but why, I mean, you could have just you could have just continued to train, or you could have gone a different direction. Why are you working with your mom doing the work that you're doing now?
Gosh, I mean, I could give you a million reasons, but when I think of my why, it really comes back to something I kind of just made up for myself when I was about 18 years old. And this is what helped me get through college, and it's what's helped me get through the first couple years of
I hear a
being an
single goal coming.
entrepreneur. And it's really simple. It's my why was, if they can do it, I can do it. If I can do it, you can do it. And if we can do it, we must do it. And to me, that applied to college, getting my work done. I hated homework, right? Um,
Mhm.
but I knew people who'd gone through college. I was like, I'm at least as smart as that guy. So anyway, like that's
It's
one
really funny
example.
you say that, and I'm smiling because I'm thinking about graduate school, because I was a first generation student, and I went to art school. My first two, I have a degree in art and a certification in computer design. So creativity was something I could attach to. And I avoided business like the plague in the first part of my life, right? But when I went back to school and got my master's in administration, what it did was it taught me that my brain works just like everybody else's does, if not better. Like I needed to have the we experience in order to be able to have an I experience. Like I had to immerse myself in something that included others that had careers and that had goals, and that were actively working as business people to actually qualify myself as a business person. And of all the things I learned in graduate school, that was, I don't know if it was worth the dollar amount that I paid for, quite frankly, but I would have loved to have learned it cheaper, and I don't know if I could have. What it taught me was that I deserve a seat at the table, that I qualify for a seat at any table. And I think when we set goals and we go through growth experiences, that's what it does. It qualifies us for a seat at the table. So you're uniquely qualified to be the owner of AZ Fat Loss and Wellness Center because you had your own story. And that gives you
Mm,
a kind of confidence that you can't buy it or learn it or read it in a book.
mm. Um, I feel like I'm getting a consultation right now, and I love it. Like you're helping me feel more like worthy in my role, and I think that's something important because you don't know this, but when we first met, what you just said about not avoiding business, I don't know if you remember,
I do
that was
remember.
me.
Yeah, I do
And
remember. And it's funny. That's not why I made the comment, but I do remember.
I mean, when and it's still until like the last year, I had to overcome this thought, and now it's something that I've done and I do every day. I had this thought of, and I grew up my whole life with it, I don't want to be a businessman.
Uh huh.
And that was literally the phrase going through my mind when someone trying to help me in business like you would say that to me when I was 18, 19, 20 years old.
You're like, yeah. No, it's the same thing for me as an artist. And it slowed me down for a really long time. It really did. It really did. So do you think that's one of the biggest lessons that you've learned about being in business? What's the biggest lesson so far for you? Because you're in business. You're a businessman. Surprise. I know. Isn't it? Me too. So what's the biggest lesson you've learned about being in business?
I learn lessons every single day and I relearn a lot.
Amen. Right?
If Yeah, that's the only way you get through it, by learning. And if can I tell you two, because
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
one right there. Like, no matter where you're starting at, how big it is, like, from the highest or the lowest, you're not going to get moved further without learning. So that's one very important thing that in this conversation I've learned.
Uh-huh.
But the second thing is, I would say, in our line of work, people are being very vulnerable. And we have a lot of influence, and it's a responsibility to truly do everything for the better of the other person. Um, and that does not disqualify us from getting something good for ourselves in the process.
So is it, so for me, like business and sales were like dirty words, right? And I hear people all the time tell me, but Michelle, I'm not a salesperson. And I'll say, well, bullshit. Yes, you are. Tell me where the best place to go have dinner is tonight. If my mom was in town, where would you tell me? And then they pick the restaurant of choice and they just sell that restaurant. They just list off all the benefits and all the reasons why and how it's so great and what the price point is and why you should go. Sales and business are just problem solving. It's not about, I think we think it's all about money. It's about, conniving and stealing. But really, business and sales is about giving solutions to problems that people need to have solutions for. And so the problem that you're solving with AZ Fat Loss and Wellness Center is about reducing fat and reducing pain. And that's a big problem for a lot of people. So when I say that's why you set, I was talking about setting sticky goals. The what's your core value? Your core value is helping people. So when you attach your goal to the core value of helping people, and so they can discover who they are, then all this dirty stuff that you kind of have in the back of your mind about business and sales goes out the window, because what you realize is that you're actually helping people, and that's the main reason why you're getting the word out there about your business. That's why we're talking today. So who can we help with this message, right? So we were talking about sticky goals, and I wanted you to give me an example of how you set a sticky goal and why you set it.
So, sticky goals, I think there's, if I could just say one thing, if I was only able to say one thing, I believe the best way to get it set is through your vision, starting with the vision.
Mm-hmm.
And in my experience, when I don't have a picture of the future of what this is all leading to, then I'm too good at detaching. I'm too good at letting things go.
Squirrel, right? Total. I love that you said that, because the fifth thing I talked about was
Was it resilience?
When I talked about in my personal Facebook Live on the how to create sticky goals. The fifth thing was to connect to your why, your purpose, and your vision. It's really important to have a purpose and vision. I think sometimes people think that a vision and a mission statement is something you get to later in your business. But honestly, in all the businesses that I've had and all the companies that I've worked for, I got attached to the vision and the mission like right from the get-go, whether I had to create it myself or I had to really study what the company I was working with and for as vision and mission was, because everything that you do is about that. It's the roadmap. Your vision and your mission is the roadmap for, if things don't line up with that vision, then you shouldn't be doing it, right?
Right.
So I love that. What's your vision for AZ Fat Loss and Weight Loss Center?
Fat loss and wellness.
Thank
So the vision for AZ Fat Loss and Wellness is to get more of this technology into other doctors' offices to help spread. Basically, just, I got to tell you, vision is still something
Developing, right?
that we're working on, and it can start small or it can start big, and um, I would say,
Like your vision is to end pain.
uh, okay, I can tell you this vision. Um, the goal is to help people live long, healthy, strong lives so they can achieve the goals that seemed impossible to them.
Love it. Love it. And I think that when you have chronic pain and you've been struggling with your weight for a really long time, that is really essentially a huge statement, what you just said there. So you've got different modalities that you use
Mhm.
at AZ Fat Loss and Wellness Center. And at my I was joking with you pre-show. I took a nap this afternoon because I was up late last night, woke up too early this morning. I'm a little foggy. So thanks for keeping me correct on the name.
Yeah.
So what is the technologies that you use with AZ Fat Loss and Wellness Center?
So, straight out, the star of our show is the red light therapy. If I could summarize,
Yes, please do. I've done a little bit of red light therapy and have discussed it with other folks on Relentless Talk Radio, but I'm really interested in hearing what you have to say about red light.
okay. So, red light has thousands and thousands of positive evidence studies showing that it works. Okay. Light is something our bodies grew up, our evolution helped us react to. And when we're getting treated with light therapy, some people think, oh, it's hot. This is heat. I'll just put a hot pack on.
Right.
No, because blue light from the sun in the morning helps us wake up. Okay. Blue light at night from your screens doesn't let us go to sleep, doesn't let us sleep our best.
Yeah.
Red light coming from the sun, again, early in the morning after the blue light, or late at night right before the dark night sky, is getting our body to heal, to reduce the inflammation, and to get ready for sleep. So that's kind of like the big macro side, but the small microscopic side, because everything is working at the microscopic level, is essentially all of our cells, as we go through life, build up oxidative stress, oxidative damage, which is just rust. Okay, rust in our cells. And red light is the absolute best proven way to be applied in many, many different situations to remove that oxidative stress, deliver energy to the mitochondria of the cell so that it can begin the natural healing process without any injection or any pill or nothing else, and it will begin immediately.
Well, I've done some red light therapy where you're just standing in like two panels. Is that kind of what you guys have? You're standing in two panels?
No,
Tell me about your.
so we have two different versions, right? We have the full body application, which I believe in all of Arizona for public use, there's one other place, and the only other private users of this are the Cardinals and the Suns, right? This is our full body red light therapy.
And do you
And
stand in a room or something, or how do you?
yeah, it's actually like a tanning bed kind of thing.
Okay. Yep.
So
You lie
that's the
down on
full body. Yeah, you lay down, we can adjust the frequencies, the intensities of the light, and that has different benefits for the inflammation, for fat loss, for pain or detox, skin, rejuvenation,
And
and clearing.
it helps with depression and some emotional stuff too, right?
Yeah, so we actually use the red light therapy in form of a laser, right? The big light bed, that's
Yeah.
LED light. That's not
Right.
going to burn your eyes. But the laser possibly could, right? We have trained staff that helps people apply the laser for the brain. We have a brain power program. This
Wow.
is the wellness side of our center is our brain program, our immune program, our whole body pain and relief, inflammation relief programs, and we have the fat loss, right? It's kind of the catchiest part of it. It's the
Right.
most attractive, but so
Well,
many people
it's
come.
so important to get rid of the toxins in your body because fat cells are sticky. Kind of like you want to create sticky goals. Fat cells by nature are sticky. And when you have toxins in your body, they will stick to the fat cells. And so when you're reducing fat, all those toxins that used to live on your fat cells are now in your body. And if you
Right.
don't find some way
To get it out.
yeah.
Right.
My cousin Lisa in Vermont is saying, how does the therapy work with naturopathy in the feet due to diabetes?
Oh yeah, neuropathy. Um, it helps tremendously. Actually, there's evidence of non-healing diabetic wounds that heal from the use of red light therapy. And what I would just encourage anybody to do if they're looking into the technology itself, of course, you can start with our website, azfatloss.com. That is my side, my mom's side, being the doctor. She is xyzpain.com. You'll find a compilation of information and videos there. And if you're looking for science, so it's pure, like peer-reviewed science,
Yep.
look on Google Scholar or PubMed, which is published medical papers, and the term you're going to search is LLLT. So 3 L's and a T. That stands for low level laser therapy. Okay, you can search that in PubMed or Google Scholar along with any other issue you're trying to resolve. So the LLLT, neuropathy, LLLT, fat reduction. And you're going to find plenty of evidence there to show you how this stuff works.
See, I love that. I'm super proud of you, Jorge, because when I met you, it's almost 10 years ago now, I think. Maybe
Not quite, not yet.
not that long. I'm trying. Maybe it was seven years.
I think
7 years ago.
Yeah.
To hear the command of the science that you've chosen to move forward with in your voice is really, really awesome for me to hear. So good for you.
Thank
so
you.
the 4 technologies that you use, the primary is red light therapy, but what are the other 3?
So my personal favorite is the oxygen training system, and that one is the most fun because I love running. Right now I'm currently injured. I can't run much, but I can do even just upper body exercise, and you're getting a contrast of high levels of oxygen with low levels of oxygen, and that contrast creates some magic in getting deeper oxygenation to all body tissues, even damaged tissues that have less blood flow, less oxygen, like traumatic brain injuries or certain joints that have less blood or oxygen.
So it actually helps by having the oxygen I'm just making sure.
Yeah, so it helps because we give you first a high oxygen. So that's super oxygenating you, getting you to go to a higher level of effort. We deoxygenate by giving you low oxygen. That makes everything more difficult. You feel more of a physical burn. You feel more of the heart rate elevating, less air. But when we switch you back to high, that's when the magic happens. Okay, like deeper oxygen, less inflammation, better cognitive performance, better recovery from injury or training.
So the double hamstring tear that I have right now, this would be a good thing to fix that.
You would love it. You'd have a lot of fun.
I'll definitely come over and check it out, and we'll do a Facebook Live when I'm in your facility so I can shout you out again. How's that?
Thank you. That'd be a lot of fun.
Okay, so you've got the red light therapy, the O2 therapy. Is there 2 other therapies quickly before we end and look at Mike?
Yeah, so I actually don't like to share everything we do because it's like our proprietary blend.
Yeah, you want to give a little bit of suspense. I got it.
Yeah. But what I would say is those are our
two biggest ones. Oh, there you went.
Those are our 2 most popular, and we have other technologies that continually are changing people's lives. So I would just encourage people to reach out to us to learn more.
So you can go to azfatloss.com or xyzpain.com to reach out to Jorge and his mom about reducing pain and getting the benefits of red light therapy and O2 O2 training system, and just get the opportunity to meet with this amazing young man who I'm so impressed with. I really am. Good for you, Jorge. Yeah,
Thank you so much.
I love watching your growth as a businessman and as a human being as well, and just how you're attaching your activity to very meaningful purposes and goals. So thank you very much for coming on Relentless Talk Radio. We talked about, I don't know, 2 months ago or so, and I'm really grateful that we had an opportunity today to chat on Relentless Talk Radio and catch up. I am definitely going to make it over to see you either in Glendale, Gilbert.
Scottsdale or Gilbert.
Scottsdale or Gilbert. I always get Glendale and Gilbert mixed up.
Yeah,
They're
G's.
You know? Is what all the stuff help with my menopause brain that keeps me from remembering names and saying titles correctly? It's amazing how that's happened as I've gotten it further into menopause. It really is. They tell you it's going to happen, that your brain's going to go poof, and it's an amazing phenomenon. Look forward to.
I can definitely say that a lot of the ladies who come in here and work with us have brought that to our attention, and they love how they feel using our technology.
I will definitely even more so come over and experience your therapy in person, and we'll do a Facebook Live from your facility. So have a good day, Jorge. I really appreciate your time. I'm going to reach out and get Mike Hathcote. He's from he's a voiceover expert, and he's an amazing person. I used to work with GoDaddy with him many years ago. So
I'm excited to see that.
I'm loving watching you guys evolve. And so earlier on, I just want to say that Mike said that he believes that work is always about the other person. So he says amen to what your comment was earlier about how your service is always about other people and what you're doing for them. So he says amen. So, all right, Jorge, I hope you have a really good day, and we will come back here in just a couple minutes, guys, with Mike Hathcote and segment 3 of Relentless Talk Radio. Thanks a lot, guys.